Hello there, GM Lurch Lurchington here for one more session of Star Wars Showdown on Iceball Station. With me as usual are our players and their characters. I've got the Bendu as Narset Jin.
Hellos and blessings.
Dan as Captain Morthythor.
Hey, everybody.
David as Master Zavik Silverstar.
Hello.
And, as always, our host Kyle as Zeef.
Hello there.
Gentlemen, if you're ready to begin, let's roll Destiny and see if the Force is with us.
Man, normally I have it all typed out and ready to go.
One dark side. Two more dark side.
It'll be a shit show today.
There's a light side.
Oh, all right.
That's how the last
You got
dinner party
four,
went.
Zeef.
My phone is being so incredibly slow. I'm like only just now opening up the tracking sheets. Hang on one second.
That's all right.
Oh my goodness. Roll. Oh wait, Destiny. Roll. Okay.
And a light side from Zeef. 2 lights and 3 darks. Force is certainly with us tonight. All right. After just a couple of days in game that felt like months and months, you're finally all back together in Fishtown on the icy bay here at Iceball Station. Narset, Jin, and Kintera have made their way back down the mountain and through the streets. Narset, since you left, the stormtroopers that were inside the casino have all decided to put on their armor and start standing around in the street. You pass no fewer than 3 Imperial hover transports with sort of cold, shivery-looking stormtroopers standing around on the edge of the street. Kintera turns to look at you and says, I thought Master Silverstar said he was going to do something about the stormtroopers while we were away. To you and comment as you make your way up the hill and through the wall into the expat casino hotel compound. You drive around, walk lumberingly around the square and make your way down into the underground parking. You're now back, having made your way across the island and then walked all the way up the damn volcano on your own 2 legs. Kintera's unloading. The Salvek Sherpas from the other villager standing around pondering this location, and Kintera goes off to explain to them the way down the beach. She says, I'm going to take these guys down to Crab Drogo, but I'll join you here at the hotel later, or are you going to be going back to the tavern?
I mean, she's already going there, so I might as well follow her there.
Yeah. You guys make your way back on foot now through the town. It's been a day, and the sun is starting to go down as you make your way past the stormtroopers standing at the break in the wall at the edge of the compound. Seem puzzled by the Salvax, but they don't stop you from heading down into the town. There are more troopers in the center of town. And then you're approaching the entrance of Crabtown here by the bay. The Salvek Sherpas seem leery to enter, and Kintera's explaining to them that these crabs aren't so different from the ones in their village, and they should see what it is Crab Drogo has, learned for the people here on this side of the bay. They're talking back and forth about this. And she looks at you, she says, Narset, you spent a lot of time with the shaman. maybe you can help me out here. To you in basic, as she's sort of clacking to these Sherpas in her approximation of Salvax. You yourself are actually more fluent in it now than she is after the connection you made with the shaman in their village.
I would just ask. I guess, Narset steps forward and like smiles to Kintera, and then looks to the younger Sherpas from the southern tribe,
Yeah.
essentially.
Sure.
For the sake of argument, like, so I'll look at the southern tribe Sherpas and just sort of, and Narset looks to them and says, "Come with me to speak to the chieftain. Let him see what, you know, let him be reminded of what it's like on the other side of the bay, and let me see what I can convince him of doing training you wise, or seeking teachers for you to further yourselves now that you are on this side."
They nod and they're willing to follow you in. You made the climb, and your words have more resonance to them than Kintera's, who was riding in her walking crab the whole way. And they say they'll listen to you. You're one of them now. Certainly. Like, you made the climb. As far as they're concerned, you're a Salvax, and you're carrying like a shaman's staff. So, like, they nod. As you lead them into Crab Town, the Salvax from, we'll say, Drogo's tribe definitely recognize that these are not the Sherpas you left with. And those that you pass by stop and watch and begin following you towards the longhouse.
Ooh.
As you might recall from your first visit, the heat in this low, long structure made of curved ravneck ribs and heavy hide is oppressive. They have many braziers lit with molten rock that they've brought up from a vent in the bay. And the crabs in here, again, immediately take notice of the fact that you've returned, but not with the Sherpas they sent you with. But you went out with Drogo's blessing, and he is waiting there with his translator Gonk at the back of the longhouse. This massive red and blue crustacean, and he rises up as you come in with the Sherpas.
Narset looks to the Sherpas and just sort of like assuringly just says, just stay close behind me and look straight ahead. Do not, don't worry about where you are necessarily.
And these are adult crabs from the southern tribe, but they're only as large as the juvenile,
Gotcha.
like the adolescents from here, and their shells are a lot paler. They haven't hardened themselves in the fires that they're able to do. But
Okay.
they nod.
I was thinking
and
they
they
were
follow you silently.
As a power move, I wanted Narset to like walk past the translator Gonk as if like, because obviously she doesn't need it.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. It gonks querulously at you and begins to waddle back into the shadows. And Drogo crackles to you when he sees you approach with the staff. He says, "Is this one now a Salvax too? Are you the smallest of my tribe, or the largest from the south?"
Oh, is he talking to Narset or the
He
other?
talks to you.
Oh,
He sees you approach with the staff and go past the droid, and he speaks directly to you.
Narset says, mostly the smallest amongst here, for sure.
He
Dear
chuckles,
chieftain.
and the rest of the crowd begins to chuckle along with him, but he turns his gaze past you towards the southern and begins chuckling, and they seem to shrink down behind you. He says, better to be the least among the great.
Sorry, I'm waiting for a second.
You have Jedi reflexes.
What? No, I'm not.
He can hear things before they happen. It's a Jedi trait.
I paused too much. He's waiting for me to finish.
No, there was some
there's
sound
stuff-
in
there's
the
stuff going on
background.
around me
Oh.
that I'm waiting.
I can't even hear it.
He
Yeah.
stopped, and then there was like clunking sounds, and I'm like, oh, he
Oh.
like Jedi'd that shit. He knew it was about to happen, so he was like, hold on.
Sound is about to happen. I love it.
What's funny is he could easily just like cut this section out later in editing.
No, definitely. And he's
And it
going
will.
to,
It
so
will
we can,
be.
Yeah, we can vamp. That's fine.
You can say all kinds of crazy shit, and no one will ever know.
Yeah. Exactly. How sick Bendu is of this whole fucking crab arc.
The audience will never hear it. No, it's gonna.
I'm so
gonna have a good
glad
payoff.
you guys were here to record the worst season of a campaign I've ever GM'd pacing wise. That's why season 2 is structured so that like all of the sorts of things that would accomplish in this would happen in like one 3-session arc, like going to a planet and then being done there and leaving in season 2 kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's the goal is to get that, like, no, it's a planet hopping adventure. Like that's what they did on Rebels. That's what they do on Firefly. That's what they do on Star Trek. That's what they do on Stargate.
Firefly doesn't count because there's only one season.
I fucking loved that season though, bro. You know, fucking
Can't stop the signal. You can never stop the
revelations
signal.
about Whedon notwithstanding, I still enjoyed the product he
This is
produced
true.
most of the time. Although in retrospect, I'm not surprised he's a creep at all. All those kung fu waifs of his.
Yeah.
We watched his fetish on TV. He just never came out and told us, like Tarantino. Literally just said, I'm all about feet, motherfucker, in like the second movie he ever made. And like, yeah, if you watch his over, it's fucking true. That's for goddamn sure. We never came out and was like, I'm a creep. I like these little kung fu girls too much. Well, like, yeah, he does.
Yeah. So Narset
Back to the thing.
continues. Narset continues to look at the chieftain and says, "The Sherpas that were with me previously, the older one was having the previous one learn the climb, as Salvax of your previous history have. These two I brought with me are from the Southern Tribe, in hoping for them to find stronger shells or teachers on this way, so that, you know, you being the true Salvax, Crab Drago, may one day return to the Southern Tribe and bring the others back over here. I have a very strong feeling that this space race could go well, which could ultimately help you in your goal of climbing to the stars."
He absorbs all of this, and he certainly seems to go along with the idea that they might be coming here to become stronger and better themselves. When you mention returning, like, that sort of like catches on him for a moment when you reach that point. And the bit about the race, like, he doesn't hear anything after that, and he goes, returning. He goes, we climb upward. Why would I go back for those crabs?
To show them how you did it, so that they may become stronger as well. Then, as a group, we could all ascend together.
He says, I told the shaman that I planned this climb, and he dismissed me. They're still waiting for a return to happen that will never come.
Times have changed. He has seen what you have accomplished in this village.
He says, and so he sends Sherpas to grow stronger. He looks past you at them. He goes, you two, you came this way, although no crab had returned to show you the way.
To say, technically, I showed them the way, but, whatever.
And he looks down at you and he goes, and you return to
I don't feel like
Salvax.
going back.
No, he looks down at you and he goes, and you return to Salvax. And he sort of mulls this over for a moment. And he goes, we have no shaman. I'm the king of crab.
Bring the shaman here so you have a shaman. Show them the way so that you may show him the way.
He goes, Salvex is not the crab who climbed. Salvex is the crab who...
You should retake that line because you cut out when you said returns.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of a
then I
bummer.
should. He goes, Salvex is not the climbs. And he stands up to his full height and looks around at all the crabs. He goes, Salvex is the crab who returned. And he reaches down and pats you on the head with his massive claw.
I was gonna say, I don't know if pat is the right
Dunk.
word. But yeah, right.
No, he's very gentle about it. That's what I mean. He takes this massive claw and brings it down just above your head, and then with the slightest motion, just barely taps you, and then brings it away with extremely careful control of his enormous
Crab hand.
size and bulk.
Finesse.
And he looks down and he says to the two Sherpas who came with you, and he goes, these crabs will teach you. And he looks at his collection. He goes, you will teach them.
Collection.
Yeah, his collective of crabs in the longhouse. And he goes, you will teach them while I finish my climb. And then he walks out of the longhouse.
Oh, damn.
And as the crabs head out to see what's going on, and you follow, he is already heading down directly into the bay, there at the water's edge where the ice doesn't reach.
Is he just going to water walk that shit?
He's going to walk back around the long way.
The long way. Oh shit, he's going to take the long way back. Okay.
Yeah, because
To the core.
He's the chieftain.
yeah, he's gonna go. Yeah, he's gonna.
Planet. Oh.
Also, it's like the closest. He goes out and he goes like direct line. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He sort of because you're right. We got to retake that because it wouldn't. That's the wrong geography, anyway. So all of the crabs have filed out, and as you follow him out, you see that he is already heading out through the arch at the edge of Crab Town in a direct line through Fish Town and up the side of the mountain.
The wall.
Having already climbed it yourself now twice, you know that he is heading directly along the climb back to the southern tribe.
What a beast.
Juggernaut, just straight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the
like,
fucking chieftain.
He's like, he needed to go back, and it's been years. So he's like, I need to go back. He's going back. All of the other crabs are just sort of standing around, like, just agog at it. And they turn to
Like, what the fuck just happened?
Right, because you walked in and then the chief just left, and they all turn to the Salvax with the shaman staff, who is standing at the mouth of the longhouse.
Narset looks to the crowd and says, just that he's continuing his climb, as one day you all will. Be prepared for the idea of more Salvax returning to this tribe. And then she pieces out. She just mic drops.
Dips. And then dips. Awesome. All right. Crab
Make your
scene.
baskets. Make your tents. Crabs are coming.
This jerks the other Salvax into motion around you, and they begin crowding around the two strangers to bombard them with questions about.
They're the new kid class.
Exactly, about where they've come from, and who might be returning with Crab Drogo. And in the commotion, you and Kintera are able to slip away back into Fishtown.
Nice.
Excellent.
Right. Scene.
Quest closed.
Yeah. The crabs of Iceball.
You have gained plus 50 reputation with the crabs of
Salvax.
Iceball.
Broke as
The
fuck.
Salvax of Iceball.
Still have no money.
But now you can buy the
you
sweet
got
Salvax armor
some-
set from the vendor.
You got some really cool fucking.
Yeah, you got some
got
cool
a
fucking gear,
free
so.
force power.
Oh, yeah, no,
and a staff that's worth a good 500 credits, I think, and like probably rarity
selling that
8,
shit.
maybe.
Oh, no. Anything
No,
with fucking.
I didn't think you were selling it. No. That's
also
without the
remembering
cortosis.
that-
That's
I'm
without the
remembering
cortosis. The
that
cortosis
David-
adds
that
another
David bought shit
10,000.
It brushes
It's
a
worth
mean
out-
bantha teeth too.
It's worth about 10,400 credits. Yes, because it's also cortosis equivalent. So it's not 400 credits, 10,400 credits. Because cortosis costs 10,000 credits. So yeah.
I feel like we're undervaluing its potential as a bantha toothbrush as well, though.
No, absolutely.
There's some credits on top of there. If you get a Tuscan customer, he'll pay top dollar.
It's definitely a Salvax.
It's a crab back scratcher.
Yeah, it's a
Oh no,
Salvax.
I forgot that David also bought a bunch of shit in the case of like preemptively having to deal with like a bigger fight with Patrick's
Yeah,
character.
so you actually have like
Oh.
gear items and stim packs and some hand grenades that you're gonna like.
Now that battle's not even happening, right? So
No, so you just have a bunch of extra shit. Yeah.
But there's a battle before the end. Like we
Yes.
have not fought our last battle. I guarantee it. So that shit
mean,
may still
again,
come
it
in
depends
handy
on-
before the end of the
I was
season.
gonna say, well, shit might happen at the race, I suppose. Like the Hutts might be like, "Oh, the Imperials."
The
be like,
Imperials
"Oh, the Hutts."
might decide they're not going to leave at the end of the race. The Hutts might decide that they're going to have a fucking civil war between some guys that are.
I'm
loyal
about to make a
Spider
move against.
some guys
I'm about
that
to make a
are
move
loyal
against
to
the Hutt's second
Thor.
in command. Like that could have some fallout that requires weaponry.
Yes, and so if it doesn't go down,
He may have
there
some
are-
loyal,
there are
people in the compound
there are
too.
multiple opportunities for it to go down between now and the end. So that's definitely on the board. We'll go into the regrouping. Unless, Narset, you think you wouldn't go back to the hotel, but I presume getting back in touch with Zavix.
Yeah, getting in touch with everyone would be would be better. The only thing I was thinking of is Narset would have responded.
Would you go back to Birdie's first, or no? You know what I mean? Like, that's like.
Is there
'cause
anything
it's-
there?
No, not at all. I'm just,
I don't
you
think
know.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I
you're
think
not
it'd be better
social enough
just
with
go-
her that you would just go back to touch base. That's for sure. Okay, fair enough. I'm just,
I mean,
you know-
touch base with the two of us? What do you mean?
well, I just like that. That's where you were staying, so now you're back, kind of thing. So like, do you go back in there, or do you just like, okay, Quintero, well, I'll go back to the
Oh.
hotel with you, kind of thing? Like, where, you know what
I'll
I
go
mean?
back
Like, I
with
don't
her.
want to
Go back.
railroad you to the like, if you think Narset would do something else, you know what I mean? Like, but also I want to go into
just
the next
narratively-
scene of where it is, ever it is, you know. So why I'm
Narratively, I was
asking.
thinking to her stormtrooper comment, just like kind of
You're right,
reminding
Yeah.
her / reminding the audience that like, well, Empire like does have a lot of money involved in one of the racers / one of the pilots. So I'm sure
so let's go see
all
about
these
that. Yeah.
stormtroopers are here because they want to see their ace. Wouldn't it be funny if their ace blows up mid-flight though?
Yeah, they might be pissed. We discussed
I'm
that.
down for some.
Oh damn! Yeah, we
sabotage.
did.
We already
Saying.
we already discussed that and different ways it could happen before you were even
You're
here.
muted, Zavix.
Some of them had to do with things that we were like,
And-
well, we could do. Zavix could
You
do
realize
this,
that
Narset could do a
I
couple
said
of
that
things.
this is what he could do, and you're like, you'll never convince him to do it. He came up with it on his own, man.
I know.
Come up with
Brilliant.
what?
Using altar to solidify the air inside one of the rings right before a fucking spaceship flies
Creating a
into it.
wall.
Oh,
You know, that kind of stuff.
Assassination.
Oh,
That's what that
He
is.
did not text me, babe. Yeah.
He's too good. He'll never do that.
I mean,
Couple
well,
of that
even if the
on-
huts,
Yeah.
even if the huts were to like,
Right.
Pull a
But,
Sebulba,
You know,
pull
yeah,
a
he might just be
Sebulba and
working.
like, just
Yeah, I was just no, I know. I
date the
just
racer
checked
with
while
a
I was over there.
screwdriver,
So I'm, just,
know.
I'm communicating.
Worm, you're in
That's all.
danger,
Acetate a
man.
couple times.
Sorry, that's why I said your name. That's I know. Yeah, apropos of nothing, baby. All right, cool. Let me sit back down. Actually, while they're eating, I'm gonna take 5 off.
Let's take
camera,
a
and
yeah.
then
Let's
we'll-
take a quick
yeah, yeah.
break as
And then
well.
we'll go. But I feel like we're cruising. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know we got a time
yeah.
limit, but I know what my time equivalent of that is, and it's still a while out. You know what I mean? I'm trying
we're
to
doing
up this
good.
pacing now that I've been aware of how far
Hey,
we were dragging.
To make this
You know,
next
through the
piece
middle.
go smoothly, when it comes to what we're trying to get out of this meeting, are we just trying to catch each other up narratively so that the viewer knows, or are we trying to learn new information, or
Okay, so yes, to meta discuss that before I step away. It is narratively the scene is that your characters are regrouping after having Narset having been separated.
Yep.
All right. After leaving the Salvax village, you and Quintero make your way back through the now stormtrooper patrolled streets towards the casino. On the way, you are past and then stops in front of you one of the casino. All right, let's take that from the top again. I'm sorry. I didn't have my flow.
No worries.
All right. Narset, Quintero, and you leave Crabtown, heading back into the icy, now occupied streets of Fishtown. As you make your way up the hill, one of the casino's speeder approaches from behind and then slows and stops. In it is Warm and Zeef in this droid-driven speeder. You've been picked up just a half an hour before from the gondola stop there by the gasworks, having had to make your way pedestrianly back from the landing platform. The Z95 now parked and ready for the race. And Warm, having reluctantly left the Bafor Leaf in her hangar, there not being enough room down at the casino with the 2 Imperial shuttles parked at that hangar. You still have business to attend to in town, so the Leaf was not like where you guys were staying. You were picked up by this car sent by Zavik Silverstar, which is now stopped, as you noticed. Isn't that other Jedi from a couple of days ago? Weren't they riding a big crab when they left? And you've pulled up here alongside Kintera and Narset. Narset, Jim, it's the 2 gentlemen from your vision that brought you to Iceball in the first place.
So I picture this as Worm's driving, and Zeef is sitting next to him in the passenger seat, and he just like rolls down the window, like up on, as we roll up on her.
Looky, Warm. We found the other Jedi.
So the other 2 are.
It's a cold day to be walking out here.
You're talking about them. Oh, I get
Yeah,
it.
these gentlemen.
I thought you were saying that it was two random, like, other random people.
No, you're walking along, and suddenly me and Warren
the 2
pull up
gentlemen
alongside
from
you.
your vision that brought you here to begin with.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Yeah, exactly. They've rolled up and asked you if you have any Grey Poupon.
Have any what?
Grey Poupon. Pardon me. Do you have any Grey Poupon? Never mind. You're too young.
He's too young for that one.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
No stairway.
Party on, Bendu. We're going to cut all this out anyway. All right. Yes.
No stairway.
Zeef have pulled up. Beside you.
A cold day to be
yes.
walking, Mistress Jedi. Can we give you a lift?
A large smile and goes across Narset's face and looks to Kintera and shrugs her shoulders as she opens the back passenger door. The 2 of them to get inside to the assuming warmth of the cruiser.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, it's nice and warm in here.
This is a nice plush expat club speeder. Warm, you don't even have to drive. There's a little R2 unit built into the front of the speeder that does all the piloting for you.
I mean, I assume it's not
you can override
topless.
that. Absolutely.
You could steer the speeder by twisting the astromech's head, like from left to right.
You
to
have
go down
turned
the
around.
Ratatouille. Steer it with the hairs.
In that case, ordinarily, the front 2 bucket seats, which are facing back, you have flipped around that seat there and engaged the flight controls. Absolutely. But ordinarily, you wouldn't have to pilot one of these. Nothing so pedestrian as that for the guests of the Expat Club. But yeah, you guys slide in. It is nice and toasty here. Even compared to the Walker, which certainly, like this is plush. There is warm air blowing out of a grill directly onto you as you make your way up towards the casino.
I was gonna say Narset taps Warm on the shoulder and asks, by chance, what color racer were you flying the other day?
Oh, did you see the gold and what is it, chromium? I believe it was.
It's a golden
right?
chrome Z95. Yes.
Yeah. Z95.
I believe I could have seen a gold one. I remember, what was it, purple? I don't remember.
Black.
What the color
One was
described
black,
last time,
and then
but-
one was bronze, and the third one was gold. Yes.
Okay,
2 of the fighters were
then-
pretty similar in color. The bronze and the gold at that speed.
So then, yeah, Narset assuringly says, "Yes, I do recall seeing a gold and silver one pretty zoom by as we were on the top of the mountain."
You're muted.
It was good to get back in the air again. It's been.
Oh, no, you're not. You
Thank
just
you.
there was just a
You're just
crazy
delayed.
audio delay. Yeah.
Okay. Take that again. Yeah, it was good to get back in the air again. I've spent too long on the ground. Speaking of my partner Zeef, and he kind of jerks his hand over his shoulder, pointing at Zeef in the passenger seat, facing the other direction. Managed to get my ship unlocked the other day. I can't wait to
That
get
was
back
actually
out there.
just earlier
Today.
Just
Yeah,
now.
okay,
yeah.
fair.
Yeah,
Alright.
you guys are on your way back from that. In fact,
Okay. All right.
I presume you
So,
spent
yeah,
a couple
so he's
hours
pretty-
up at the Leaf, so now you're making your way
Yeah.
back at the same time as them. Yeah, you're jazzed. You just left the Leaf. You know she's unlocked. Now you're heading up to
Narset then looks over to Zeef and sort of says, "Is your garage at your house? Is it big enough? Do you think it's big enough for, you know, Worm's
Take a
ship?"
little think there. And
Warm
it's destroyed.
Starfighter.
Zeef looks at Narset and says, "Big enough. He's still got a tree in there."
Oh, I thought he was talking about the garage back at your office.
Yeah,
for
would
the
it-
Starfighter.
Yeah, would it be big
Yeah,
enough to
preemptively.
fit the Bathor Leaf? And I'm saying in
it's big enough
response,
now. There's a hole in this side of it.
well, yeah, there you go.
Narset looks over to the both of them like, why is there a hole in the side of the garage?
Oh yeah, you missed a lot of action. So these the Shark Boyos, you remember, that were here causing a bunch of trouble. Well,
Yeah.
they're pretty much on their way out. We dealt with them. Things got a little heavy. They may or may not have blown the fuck out of the side of our basement of our office, and there may have been an extended firefight with civilian casualties. And yeah, you know, we've been busy.
Where are you guys living?
Actually,
you guys staying at the casino with Master Zavix?
Your
Yep.
master's been nice enough to let us stay with him for the time being.
Oh, excellent.
We're quite comfortable, Zeef says with a smirk.
Fuck are you guys doing?
They're doing like the antler dance back
Yeah,
there.
they're
I've been
doing
watching
cat
them.
stuff,
Shit.
It's great.
The ride up the hill is brief, and by the time this exchange is finished, you guys are pulling into the underground parking complex. There, just across from where the crab walker is now stowed. You make your way up through the turbo lift, bypassing the front part of the casino entirely, and up to the plush carpeted hallways of the club level suites where Zavik and the Silver Star suite
Well synopsed, Patrick.
reside.
Absolutely.
You're standing there outside the suite. Master Silverstar, you had a busy day. You were working with the mechanics here at the Expat Club, getting the rings positioned, and then you were up at the factory working with the technicians there as they positioned the final ring within the force fields of the collectors at the factory. You stayed during the time trials as they watched the dials on their gauges flash into the yellow and edge towards the red. But in the end, the work that they'd put in overnight, prepping the facility for the race, and the fact that they have agreed to cease collection and, devote their energies just towards working with the race until things are over, kept the facility safe during the time trials, at least. They assured you that they're sure that they'll be able to handle things even while all of the ships are going through at the same time. There shouldn't be any blowouts, they hope. And you'd made your way back to the casino before Narset and Kinteri even arrived from their long climb earlier. You were expecting them, or at least Narset, certainly, but they'd headed back out. So you've been here now for just a little while, but finally there's a chime, and it informs you, Master Silverstar, your colleagues, they've arrived. And
All
the
of
party
them.
is back together.
I would be probably rested up inside the bedroom area, and then I would probably go into the office and check my investments real quick.
Yeah,
Make sure everything is up to date.
Yes.
And then
the flow through from your smart investments has been coming in. If we haven't been documenting it, we'll make sure to update that. Master Silverstar, certainly. Now that you've linked your accounts with the Expat Club.
And do I still have that box with me?
You've never
the file?
received. Oh, which file?
From Rathomith gave it to me. No, Kolvar. Kolvar gave it to me last time.
Kolvar gave you the file that you could look into. Yes.
That I haven't opened yet.
You haven't signed it yet to fully open up, and connect the Silverstar Trust, which you've kept yourself apart from, and apolitical as you've gone through your journey as a Jedi. You haven't accessed the family, accounts and linked that up yet.
I'd like to, since I'm here by myself, I'd like to open that up now.
Well, no, it was just the data pad. You haven't received anything.
Oh, okay.
Narset found a box.
That's right.
When she was exploring the Hermitage. That might be
you just have data coming in.
Yeah, what you received from Kolvar was accessing the family account.
Okay.
And opening that up, which is sort of declaring yourself back on the scene in that way. You've kept yourself apart from that. So, yeah, with a press of your thumb to the data pad, you've now linked yourself up with the Expat Club, and are confirmed into that full membership here.
No more getting jumped by droids.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think you'd received anything else from Kolvar during that last meeting. Yeah.
All right, then
that was
then
a while. That was before the break, though. You know what I mean? So that was weeks and weeks ago, in real life. So I'm not 100. Narset acquired a box before then too, though, during her climb. So
For the sake of argument, we'll say Narset has it in
Narset does have
her in a knapsack or some shit.
Yeah, you've been carrying it in the bag that Kintera gave you that you made the climb with, and Narset, Jin.
Versus leaving it on the walker.
Yeah.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll get into box stuff. So yeah, you've gone in, you've checked, you're rested up after your busy day. Everyone should be full of strain and all that. Even after your long climb, you had the rest of the ride back, presumably, going into this. And you've confirmed your accounts. Having synced up with the Expat Club, within moments, a message appears in your inboxes, Zavik Silverstar. And there's a communique along the hollow lines from Pantora.
No, it's your dad.
It's just a very brief message, but Bendu has the right of it, and it simply says, "Are we going to
Bend
see
the
you
knee.
finally? Are you prepared to?"
I fucked it.
No, it's okay. It's all right, Bendu. Take three's, third time's a charm. It's a simple message that just says, I'm glad to see you're going to make something for yourself. And nothing further than that. But apparently accessing the Silver Star Trust has opened up that line of communication. And
wait, was that for me?
Yes, this is
It's
a
from your
message
homeworld.
in
I
your
thought we were
inbox.
talking Narset.
No.
You just got a message from your dad.
Yeah, after you
How?
confirm.
Holonet message showed up in your inbox.
office, yeah, you're in your office checking your accounts, Zavik. You have
Alright.
confirmed opening the Silver Star Trust, and accessing those funds now for the first time ever, which you haven't touched during your entire time, as a Jedi. But in order to gain membership fully to the casino, you have to have that kind of, liquidity. So, in accessing and opening that Silver Star Trust that you've always had access to, but have never, touched because have been independent from the family on this Jedi,
Nonsense.
journey of yours. Within moments of opening that trust and the paperwork going through with the Expat Club, you've received a communication in your inbox from Pantora. You haven't had any communication with your parents since you set out. They're both very political in Pantoran politics, and you've been going and doing this Jedi thing, which is your own independent thing. But now, having accessed the Silver Star account after 14 years of being apart from them, within moments, this message from your father appeared. And it just says, "Glad to see you're going to make something of yourself."
Okay.
And then N4 comes in and says, "Master Silverstar, I've brought your guest into the common area. I didn't think it polite to leave Mistress Jin after her long journey." And then she heads back out. Kintera, Narset, Zeef, Warham, you've been brought in to the hotel suite. Zavix is in the back mulling over this communication and is going to join you momentarily. N4 is preparing a culturally appropriate set of, small foods. And Zavik Silverstar joins you as soon as he's ready.
Zeef walks into the place, takes a few steps into the main area, and then crouches down on one knee as you would, expecting like a pet to greet you as Stomper waddles out from the room that he's been charging in, and Zeef pats him on the head as if happy to see him again.
Has Narset been here before? This is the same room.
These are the same suites where you guys had the dinner party.
This is where I passed out after sexually intimidating an ISP agent.
Yeah.
Last time we were all together, you guys, Zavix was trying to cut his hand off with a lightsaber, if I remember.
Yeah. Orm was stroking the fuzzy wall in the other room.
Exactly. This is a good place.
It's a good place.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Get him to the Pantoran.
Absolutely. Yeah, Stomper comes out. N4 puts some food out for you there in the social area. And Master Silverstar appears at the mouth of the corridor leading down towards his bedroom.
Zeef tongue snags a pizza roll off the platter, but doesn't get up from his crouched position. Just
Tongue with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Zavix, Narset, and Kintera are back. You see that they're here along with Worm and Zeef.
I look over towards them and greet them.
Hello, Master Silverstar. Good to see you again.
Welcome back, everybody. I assume everything's been going well. I see, Narset, you're back. You must have had a journey.
Yes, indeed. As here we all have with Zeef and Warham's recent renovations. I'm more curious as to what you have been up with. I'm more curious as to what you've been up to with your time.
I'm just securing our transport off this planet. Zavix is going to go over and make himself. Is this morning or evening or what? What is this?
This is evening. It's towards the
Early
end of the day.
evening.
I'm going to
You
go
were
with
working
making
with the
myself a drink.
mechanics all day. All right.
Zeef kind of perks up. Ooh, don't mind if Misa do, and follows Zavix over to the little bar that's set up so he can make one for himself too.
I think Worm's is gonna join as well.
All right.
He's
so the party,
had a good day. Yeah.
We're
The
gonna
party
place
drifts over.
a table on top of a Stomper and have him become the shot droid.
That's a great idea.
R2.
I'm down.
Yeah. The little drinks tray.
Well, I can see you're
so-
serving drinks.
Earlier today, Zavix, after you set up the race rings, you got to watch Warham and the other racer fly their time trials. So you saw Warham and Halloran and Lubatai Rel Hut pilot all fly 2 laps, each separately, sort of, from each other, along the course from the factory itself, which had a vantage point over the whole course, which neither the Huts or the expat club actually had. So you had like a good vantage point of the whole thing during the setup. Yeah. So, certainly a celebratory mood, despite your sort of the recent, sort of side foot step. Like today was a very, like the race is ready to go tomorrow. Like, and,
Gotcha.
like, that, like everything is done and tomorrow's the race kind of thing.
Cool.
Like, so
Then
that's
I'd definitely be in a very celebratory mood.
Exactly. Narset's back. She had a journey indeed. So Zavix, says that he's been securing transport, and then heads off to make drinks. Kintera shrugs, sits down here at the table, and starts helping herself to something other than rations that she prepared in her walker over the last couple of days. And indicates that you could sit across from her if you want, Narset. She sort of mutters that that's the sort of reaction that she always gets when she comes back from expedition from the others as well. They always ask, but they're not really interested in listening.
She offers to make Kintera a drink before heading back over.
She says, please and thank you. And then she pulls her feet up under herself and starts nibbling on food while going through her data pads of notes from the journey from her bag there at the table. And you join the others back in the kitchen where they are setting up a line of shots on top of Stomper, apparently.
They say Narset passes
On the drinks. Okay.
on the shots. Off the droid. Droidy shots.
It's just a
But also
typical.
makes-
It's a very typical house party. Everyone's just standing in the kitchen.
Worm takes 2, 1 for each mouth.
Nice.
She sort of looks over at Zavik Silverstar very, questionably of, I thought you were a Jedi. What are you doing taking shots? But whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
This is the new Jedi
it's
Order,
not
baby.
fair.
you
I
guys
guess.
are Yavin Jedi. You're not like Coruscant Jedi, Like they're much more loose.
Yeah, you guys are all. What the fuck
Praxia.
is a Yoda? Like, you never met a
Sure.
Yoda.
Lobaka is the plug. He gets it straight from Kashyyyk,
Oh yeah.
They keep it real in the new Jedi Order. So, this is definitely like Lando's in town, type behavior, but it's not entirely alien, I suppose. Some of the Jedi Master are fighter pilots and stuff. They definitely know how to relax. I'm
There's some
sure.
sort of, Ewok hash or,
Definitely, yeah. Yes, whatever Narset's own way of getting down is, I'm sure she has a pouch of
cheek
it
moss.
somewhere. Yeah, you reach into your robe,
Huff
where in
some
the
dead guy's
folds
ashes.
between 2 of your robes, down in the damp
Oh, now.
part
Not
towards
doing
your
coke.
armpit, you pull out some little moss that you keep damp in there so that it
My
stays
PTSD.
fresh. and then you put it out so that it'll dry out, and it'll be ready in about 15 minutes. Absolutely. This is Star Wars, baby. Any kind of weirdness you want to get down with, we'll get down with. Like season 2, we are definitely going magic mushroom hunting.
I have to inject alien spores into my
that.
eyeballs. It's the only way I can get off anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not even talking about Zeef. This is just me now.
Alien covenant? Yeah, that.
Exactly. You get it. You get
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, you come over and you're sort of side-eyeing Zavix Silvers to get us back on track. As he's like keeping it loose, but you sort of think to, when in space roam, do as the space Romans do, and begin making drinks for Kintera.
It's true. You guys were just involved in a firefight.
And yourself.
We've all kind of earned this. I think you have too.
Yeah.
We've been on a big trek.
And Zavix does have this rather stressful event happening.
Well,
Plus,
Zavix is toasting a successful enterprise. It's on the eve of the race that he set up, So he's got plenty to celebrate, and me and Warren have a lot of troubles to drink about.
You are pretty... Now, you might be feeling tired and mixed up after your own, like, physically and mentally strenuous, sort of enterprise. But you also did all of that, and just earlier today, you held your hand out over a volcano that semi-erupted, and you were not burned because you felt the force flowing through you.
That was
and
damn epic.
Redirecting all of that energy through you. The staff that is still like on your back, super heated to red hot, and you were able to hold it fine and cool it off in the snow outside the volcano rim. Like, all of that happened just this morning, and then you came back and you told the king of the crabs, who is 4 times your size, like, no, you're not doing it right. And he went, holy shit, you're right. And immediately left on a pilgrimage, like, on foot. Like,
not doing it right.
Yeah. So you make yourself some drinks and you bring one back to Kintera, who thanks you, and like,
and celebrate we're all here and alive.
Right.
I mean, honestly,
absolutely.
individually, everyone has something to celebrate.
Points you over there, absolutely, and you guys sort of go, "Hey, like, yeah, exactly, kampai," and they take their shots, and you and Kintera each have a drink, and Stomper gonks and shakes a little, rattling the shot glasses, so that they have to be transferred back to the counter, and then stomps off. He's like, I'll be your mixing table, but if there's a counter right there, I'm not going to be your table. And gonks his way over to...
He has his pride.
Exactly. So...
pride or just self-worth?
Both.
Right.
Gonk.
He's got a personality. He doesn't get wiped.
Absolutely.
He's over there trying to make conversation with N4, who is having a looping conversation, asking him if there's anything she can get for him. Like, gonk.
Zeef raises up his little shot glass of Carillion ambrosia and, indicates for everyone else like he's going to do a toast and says, to the Bafor Leaf, to the race, to the case closed, and to whatever the hell you just did, and like references Narset because he's like, he's still not quite. You just went on a mysterious journey. He's like, to whatever the hell you've been doing, like to all of us, like.
Excellent.
And then he knocks it back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers.
And I would love to get your in character, like, bit of conversation. We can always move past it meta, but like, I'd love you guys to actually like be in character and like catch each other up and stuff. Like, we don't do that, and that's how we...
That's kind of what happened in the car ride when I was like, what happened to your place?
Right, but we don't know anything about what your trip was. You got to catch us up.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, Kintera drinks her whole drink. Even the boys got shots, and like, you guys have mixed drinks, but she slams her whole drink and slams it down, and she goes, whatever we did was go on a hell of a journey. I have been up to the top of that mountain and back 6 times since I took up with his crew. And I've been driven back by storms and lizards as tall as my walker every time. She reaches out and puts her arm around your shoulders and pulls you close to her. And she goes, but because of her, I went all the way across this island and have gathered more
Fucking data.
xenocultural data on the Salvax in 2 days than I got out of Drogo in 6 months, because all he wants to do is be one of us. And I would like to at least know where he came from. She slams down a data pad next to her glass and then
D-class.
stabs it with a finger and goes, I have 16 of these filled with information no one ever knew about the Salvax before, thanks to her, and squeezes you again, Narset, around the shoulders and goes, and then she throws her left hand up in the air and then just sort of walks off across the room before describing the return journey. And
Like a Key and Peele skit.
right, and just sort of walks off.
Liam Neeson's.
Yeah, so she leaves you guys with that
Awesome.
as a primer.
Well, that sounds like quite a journey. I
Yeah.
can say we've been through a bit of stuff ourselves here. I think just the other day we were underwater grabbing some criminals down there.
Yeah,
Grabbing some
we've been dealing with
criminals.
we've been dealing with a turf war between the Hutt cartel and some shark boys trying to move in from Nar Shaddaa and sell drugs, and we basically had to track them down. Hence the blaster holes the size of your head in our basement over at the detective agency. And 2 speeders, several Aqualish later, case closed. We finally got the guy. But it was bad bombing for a second there.
Oh, and then I'd pull out the Jedi toolbox that I found.
Yeah, you've got
at
a
the
little
store and say I found this, which might be useful to us here soon, and then put it down.
Zavix puts it down. He goes, I found evidence that there's already been a Jedi on this planet before. And he puts down a little multi-tool on the counter, Narset.
And then, so Narset, seeing this very, almost immediately, starts to go into conversation about the hut that they had found at the top of the mountain and the, what seemed to be the first expedition of life that the Jedi may have taken at some point. And then takes out the box out of her side satchel and places it on top of the table as Kintera sort of nudges Narset's shoulder, looking at Zavix's family crest on the wall, then sort of looks down at the box.
Yeah. So, Zavix, after you pulled out the multi-tool and you're like, I found this. I think there was a Jedi here before, and this could be useful. Narset says, on our way back from the journey, I stopped with the Salvax chieftain, and he showed me an outpost that a Jedi must have built here at least 200 years ago, given the architecture, sometime in the High Republic. And inside, I found this, and she puts down about 1 foot long and 1/2 foot deep, 1/2 foot tall wooden box made out of ancient wood. The edges are all of worked golden metal, and there is intricate carving on all of the faces of it. There is a latch on the front with a small crystal built into it, and on the top of the box is a hexagonal decal sort of embossed into it, but it is smudged and corroded and not entirely visible. Kintera didn't have the tools to work it in the crab on the way back from the top of the mountain to remove this, without perhaps damaging it, and she's really nitpicky about that, but a mechanics check is the sort of thing that will uncover what's on this emblem that is currently obscured on the top of the box.
Who's got the highest mechanics check out of the group here?
Warm, I
The
think.
Warham by 1.5 miles.
Or would you mind taking a look at this? If you have the two pieces of the puzzle here.
Sure. I'll take a look at it. What's the difficulty?
It's going to be a hard mechanics check to uncover what is on this emblem without destroying it.
Okay.
I thought
I'm going to use a
Sagoa
destiny
already
point to make it a
opened
red
Oh, that
energy.
was empty. Right?
Can
You haven't
he?
opened it
I'm sure
yet.
he'll get
When
boosts
you-
from the Jedi, right?
When you when you went to open it, Narset, you found that the latch on the front is a force reactive crystal. Ordinarily, with these sort of things, you just put a little force energy into it and it opens up because it's supposed to open. This one instead resisted you, indicating that it's someone's private property. It's not locked, it won't take a check, but you actually have to willfully open it against its like resistance to open to anyone. It will only open willingly for one person, but it won't take any extra effort to like pick it. It's the lock equivalent of someone's like diary, like a really simple lock like that. But at that time, you chose not to take that extra effort and open it regardless, I believe. So you guys can open this box just like it belonged to someone else and it's coded to only open for them, but it's not locked securely. You just have to make that choice and you hadn't yet. Sort of thing. Worm, did you roll the...
I had not. I was listening to see if there was anything permanent in that.
There's a dark... it's a red and 2 purples because I'm going to use one of my destiny points.
All right.
Because I have 3 of them.
One of the Jedi is going to give me a hand
Yeah,
with
I'll
this.
give you a boost.
Okay. And
Kintera is leaning over your shoulder trying to micromanage the operation as
Of course.
well. Okay. But it doesn't cause any setbacks. You work it carefully and you remove some
actually,
of the...
I'm going to.
Sure.
I can re-roll one positive die. I'm going to re-roll that green. That was blank.
Okay, excellent. Go ahead and roll a green and see if you can turn the...
There we go.
All right, you succeed with 2 advantages.
Nice.
You lean down over this box, reach down to your tool belt, and select a small fine manipulator to begin working at the edges of this small hexagonal plate. Kintera reaches in, plucks that tool from your hand, and replaces it with one from her belt, more suited to the task. It's a small sonic device that will remove the plaque that's built up on this plaque. After the emblem is removed, you see a gold-edged blue hexagon of enamel. On it in the center is a silver starburst, and there are 3 small golden chips, triangular in shape, all pointing upwards, arrayed over the star with small white contrail lines leading back towards the bottom of the emblem. It is not exactly the same as because of the vagaries of time, but it is immediately recognizable as being that of Zavik Silverstar.
What do we have here?
Wearing a similar brooch on his garb.
In the center of the star, is there any symbol or anything to denote like which? No, it's just kind of blank.
Not at all. Yes, it's just a silver starburst in the center.
Have we opened up the book yet?
You guys have not opened up the box yet. No.
Can I attempt to open the box?
When you reach towards it, again, you feel that slight bit of resistance that you are not the person to whom this belongs. But it's not going to take a discipline check to like mentally unpick it, but it doesn't open freely to your hand any more than it does to Narset.
I'm gonna go ahead and open it.
All right, that's fine. Inside, you find a faded blue velvet lined interior. The bottom portion of which is a rectangular insert large enough to fit a lightsaber hilt. Above, there are several small compartments with flapped lids of the same material. And as you open them, you find in one of them a lightsaber emitter of very, perhaps 2-century old, like, design in its workmanship. But when you investigate it, it looks like it's been, it's a low-powered training emitter. This is for a blade that will only deal stun damage, and is incapable of lethal blow. This is a lightsaber storage box. One of the compartments along the top there is a perfect fit for the multi-tool that you found in the pawn shop.
I think we could put the two together then and wrap that up.
And apparently this was found in a small one-room hermitage up on the side of the mountain that's 200 years old that apparently had a guardian still within that attacked Narset Jin when she entered.
Who gave this to you? Zavix, that's Narset.
It was just inside the hut. There was nobody in there. It had been empty for hundreds of years. The place itself was aligned with various energy crystals that had died down from lack of energy from the volcano.
So it's signs that nobody has been there for hundreds of years.
Oh.
Yep.
All right.
And it's the Silver Star family crest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty. You know, there's other families on our planet. It's very specific that it would be one of ours, and since I don't recognize it as like one of the current
It's not a current one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not a current one. It definitely warrants.
You
means
have
I might
Jedi
have to go up there as
ancestor.
well. Maybe I'm part crab.
Well, Narset does know a little bit more about that story, and maybe she can tell Zavix, at a later time. She got a little bit more information about, the Jedi who lived there from the shaman, But she's she's not
might as
super.
well do it now. But I learned from one of the shamans on the southern tribe that there was an apprentice and a master that once came to this planet, seeing if it was habitable. They built this shelter on the top of the mountain in hopes of one day returning, but I guess they never did. And then once this planet fell under Hutt control, why would the Jedi come back? Tell us.
Interesting. Well, I guess we'll have to go check that place out later on. We got the race tomorrow, though.
Season 2. Yes.
In season 2. I guess, can we do anything to help Worm? Or should we invite more people? Or
I mean, you guys have now had a couple of beverages. Kantera came back once Narset started talking about the journey, adding in her 2 cents about the exact date of the architecture, of the structure, based on the observation she made from long distance and blah, blah, blah,
right.
kind of stuff. But certainly, I think Kolvar, perhaps Thude himself, would probably be in a celebratory mood with the race approaching. Dan with a finger.
I gotta take a second, guys.
Okay,
No problem.
we'll get back.
It would be some excellent continuity if our drunk Rick Sanchez wandered in again.
Yeah. I think
Just like last time.
check out slide 33.
All right.
We got the party rolling already. My laptop reset itself. Oh, there's Kolvar and Thude coming in, and Sick Ranchez.
Sick.
There's Rathamith. He's never far from Captain Thude.
Right. I dig it. Worm's
Olvar.
chair, bright red. Like, do not sit here. This is
Yeah.
Worm's chair. He will sit on you.
Yeah. I figured we were going to bookend the party we had.
Everything cool, Dad?
Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
At the start of the season kind of thing.
Totally. I don't know how to draw Agent Vanko to the party, but I need her to show up.
Well,
A destiny point will do.
Well,
Yeah,
the destiny
or-
point. Well, I need a whole ass destiny point just to overhear the damning conversation, which implicates TK 4969-420 in the first place.
Ah.
Because
Okay.
she comes in,
love that number.
she leaves her stormtrooper escort outside of guarding the hallway, and I was gonna have like earlier in the night, Stomper knocked over some glasses, so I like sent him out into the hall or something, and he's out there and he overhears 69 telling 420, yeah, like you remember that when you blasted that Moncal the other night?
No, absolutely.
And then because I have heightened pheromones, I've got good sense of smell. I can like smell
well,
like blaster
use the
residue
destiny
and
point.
Moncal on him.
I'll use the destiny point to get her there, and then you'll use the destiny point to do your thing. Absolutely. That's how we did it last time, I believe.
Yes.
Or no,
well,
Zavix-
no, last time it was a
Zavix-
despair.
Zavix did laser surgery on
she
his
was-
fucking wrists.
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say,
The
it's
fucking-
4 o'clock. So
Well,
She
actually,
tries to
she was-
follow me again like that. Screw that.
Agent Ivana Vanko was created out of a despair roll while you were gambling.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, she was.
You sat down at the
That's how
gambling
this game
table
works,
without
bro.
saying hi. You just sat down as like a power move,
Created
and
out of
then
a
despairingly
despair.
you were
That's
invited to
incredible.
the officers' table where you met Vanko.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So she was created by a dice roll, actually, which is crazy. And now she's like a whole character.
Yeah, that's how this shit works, bro.
All right, we'll have some fun. We'll do some drinking games or something like that, and get everybody on the same page. Wait,
Absolutely.
when's the race again? Is it the next day?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Oh, Warren,
Tomorrow.
you're not drinking anymore. You're the designated driver.
So
Yeah.
since we're a
Once
couple
cut
drinks
off,
deep,
it
I'm
makes it
assuming
race
that
better.
means we've had like a 20-minute time jump or something in the party
Yeah.
here. At this
Yeah.
point, like we have just finished playing that one game where you have to write
You guys
down
are
someone's
done with
name
your
and stick it on your
private
forehead, and you have to guess what's on your own forehead. And the
Okay.
game is over. The game's over. But
I'll establish that in the narrative.
let me finish.
Still
Well,
have the,
let me
still
finish
have
my
the
thoughts so
name.
you know what to establish
Sure.
in the narrative. The game is
Moff
over.
Tarkin.
Everyone's taken theirs off already, but I still have like a post-it with Mace Windu on it, like on my forehead.
I was
haven't
going.
taken
I was going to go with Grand Moff Tarkin, actually. But yes,
Yes. Give him
done.
a Tarkin name tag.
Will Huff
Take,
Tarkin.
forehead. Yeah, absolutely. I don't
Fucking-
even know if Bendu's here because he's like off to
Here,
the side.
packing a bowl.
Okay.
I'm doing non-recordable shit.
No, I understand that. I understand that. Our guy gets off work right when we're supposed to wrap. So
Word.
I don't know. My phone's over there. Did he?
That's why I was saying that,
Yeah.
like,
I know. I'll be right back.
actually good on
No
time,
worries.
right?
Let's take a 5-minute
Should do
break
the race.
anyway.